What is going on, people? I am The Broken Puppet, and welcome back to my channel where I teach you guys how to draw all kind of things tattoo related and have a little bit of hints and advice along the way, from how to draw things, shading techniques, and all kind of other crazy stuff. Today's a really fun one, and we're showing you guys how to draw a traditional snake. I'm going to break it down into real simple kind of techniques, and we're going to do this on the iPad Pro in Procreate. You can do this on any medium you want. You can do it on paper, you can use markers, paints, whatever you want to use. Just copy what I do on here, on there. So I said, this is Procreate on the iPad Pro. Now I have a bunch of layers up here. So we have lining, shading, coloring, and two sketching ones. So the idea is we're going to sketch on the two sketching layers, do our lining, and then I'm going to come down and shade and color it. And in this order will really help. So it's going to be everything exactly where it should be. Brush-wise, we'll come up here. I'm going to use three brushes. I'm going to use technical pencil, which is in the pencil section. I'm going to use the studio pen, which is in the inking section, and the medium nozzle, which is in the spray paint section. This is all pre-built into Procreate, so you already have this. So if you see me using these, you already have these brushes. I'm going to start off with a technical pencil, and I'm going to select me a dark red. If you're doing it on paper, just use a normal sketching pencil. But I just find dark red is a nice color to kind of use, and just works nice for me. So yeah, make sure you got technical pencil and sketching layer 1 selected. So here we go. I'm going to start off just very loosely, sketching me a nice circle, like so. Then what I'm going to do, get your rough center point from here, and I'm going to create this curve coming up like so. And I'm going to create this one coming here. I mean, you can make a V shape if you want first, kind of help you get the actual alignment, but it's pretty much a curve and then a line there. We can draw this line, come back to that circle bit just there, and then this one can kind of curve from here onto that edge just there. So we have this cool little shape. Now it looks a little bit random in a minute, but don't worry, it will all make sense. From the top on now, we're going to create a curve coming back over the top, almost touching that circle. So just go a tiny bit past that circle, I would say, like so. So this is basically going to be the structure of the head. So now we have it, we can create an oval shape just in this part, just here. So it's like touching the circle. So you have this circle here and this oval here. And once we have this, I'm going to create this line coming down. I'm going to follow this. And then we're going to loop back around. I'm going to come over here, like so. And now I'm going to create another one. It's around here. So imagine kind of follow this line from here, from that mouth. And that'll kind of give us roughly the right kind of thickness. And it's mimicking that shape. So you've got this nice kind of even S curve just here. And then once we have that, I'm going to create this line, come across like so. So the idea is this snake's body is going to go into like a skin tear. We've got the head up here, and we're going to do like a nice tongue and all the details and make them look all really cool. So now we have this, let's start dividing it up so you can see everything a bit more clearly. So we have the snake's back, and we also want the belly. So I'm going to create a line coming through it here, a little bit under halfway. So I want it a little bit wider here, and a little bit thinner here. And we're going to bring this around like so, all the way around, keeping that distance roughly the same all the way across. And once we have that, you can put some little lines dividing it up. Try to space them roughly evenly. They can be as close or as far away as you want, but you basically want to get this kind of structure coming through here. Once we have that, I want to create a secondary line now. That's going to cut through this part, and I'm going to cut through this circle where the eye is. I want to kind of cut through that. It's about here. Just like that. And once we've got that, I'm going to create this similar kind of curve now. Just coming all the way down, like so. And we're just going to repeat this until we kind of run out of space. So you've got this nice kind of repeating pattern coming all the way down. And I want to make this a little bit wider just to the bottom bit because I feel like I got a little bit too small there. So let's go there to about there. I'm liking that. So you can already see where the structure is already coming into play now. So now we've got this line here for the skin tear. I'm going to create this loop. It's going to curve up like so, curve down, and curve back up. And then once you've done this, I'm going to curve back, and this part's going to go behind the snake. So you want to curve there, and when you get to the body, just end it. And this bit, just a little curve just there. Just so it senses that the body is coming out and curving around in this kind of way. So now we have that, we want to get the teeth in here. So the teeth, I'm going to create a little line that cuts through just here, like so. A little one just here. You want to get a nice kind of curve on it. Get them roughly around the same kind of size. Now, try not to think too much in terms of realism. You know, it's more like kind of pattern and shapes. Same thing down here, get one here, one here. And now I want to make this shape a little bit nicer. I'm looking at, I think I might bring these teeth back a little bit actually. They feel a little bit too far forward to me. I always like to say, you get the face in, if you sort of draw like a line, coming down from it, this is kind of where it is. Yeah, too much of an overbite for me there, so let's bring that back a touch to just there. Yeah, I like that, way better. And this is a good thing about sketching. When you're sketching, you can always make these little refined details. You literally just sketch over what you got. You know, don't feel like you have to be like tidy with it. It's a sketch at this stage. And I'm making this curve a little bit more interesting. So rather than a straight line, I'm curving it, and I'm going to dip it into this part, just there. And this bottom part is going to curve. Again, just a little dip just there. I'm going to curve around. And then once it gets to back here, I'm going to curve this into this eye part just here. Just like so. Little line for the nose just in there. And then you've got the inside part of the mouth. So I'm going to create a little gum section just at the back, just here. And then we've got the tongue. So the tongue I'm going to have curved down from the top. We're going to curve out the mouth, and then curve around. Now I'm going to create like a little kind of V gap between this. But I want both parts to be roughly the same sort of size. So this part and this part, roughly the same size, just kind of like V-shaping, separating apart. Just like so. It can be as long or as short as you want. If you want to bring back a little bit, you can always use the selection tool. Click freehand, select that, and you can just kind of bring that back a bit if you want. Like so, or kind of keep where you want. It's just a little way you can edit if you want to. But I'm quite liking how this is looking. Just think I'm going to make this mouth a little bit more kind of curved just there. So that's a little bit thinner on this part. I'm going to get this little curve just in the eye for the detail. So almost like leaving a little circle just here and colouring in the rest. So I'm liking this. It's got like a nice kind of feel to it. I might bring those teeth just a tiny bit more forward. Like so. And this is the reason why we have two sketching layers now. So you're going to see like this one's very kind of like sort of like sketchy, messy. And now we're going to go into the second one. So sketching layer 2 over the top. And now we can kind of refine the bits we want. So you can kind of look at it, and anything you want to sort of like adjust, now we can do that. So we're sort of drawing over something already drawn. So now it's going to go there. I might make that eye just a little bit bigger. Bring this line in here. I'm going to create this little kind of curve here, so it's a bit more kind of like flat-headed at this point. And now we've got this mouth here. Again, I'm going to slightly get the shape a bit more kind of curved. It's all about kind of pattern work. It's getting the right kind of curves and lines. You want to make the lines a bit more interesting. You don't want to make them too kind of harsh. You don't want to kind of like too many kind of wiggly lines. But this nice, even sense of curvature is just really nice. I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to make this mouth a little bit thinner on this back end. I can curve into there. Yeah, I'm liking that now. Just teeth where I want those. Get a little gum bit in there, and I'm going to create these like repeating lines just for the back of the gum. Don't need to add too many of them. It's just kind of like filling that little space, pretty much. And then once we have that, I'm going to come down now. This belly part here, you can keep this way if you want. It's going to show variations. So you can also do like a curve over the top and kind of repeat this kind of curve like this, which looks really cool. You can have like an oval shape and keep repeating the ovals, which also looks really cool. You can create like little kind of M shapes. So you can kind of create like this and then like a W, I suppose, you know, upside down M. But just find a pattern you like and kind of repeat it. For this one, I think I'm going to go just a real nice simple curve like this. So in each one of those gaps, I'm literally just creating a curve, which loops onto the next, which loops onto the next, and so on. Until they disappear into that skin tear. So I'm liking that. Just make this one a tiny bit smaller. Cool. And the rest of the detail's fairly fine. What I will say I'm going to do, I'm going to be putting a secondary line just in here on each one of these kind of scaly bits at the back. I'm not going to mark it in there because I'm just going to draw with the liner. But just so you're aware, that's what I am going to do. So yeah, let's move on to the lining, shall we? So I'm going to come up to the lining now. I'm going to select black. And I'm going to switch now to that studio pen. And I'm going to use it roughly this kind of thickness, which should I go 18? Yeah, I'm going to go so 18% on this one, on an A4 bit of paper. So here we go. So I'm just going to put these lines over the top. Now, I'm quite quick at it when I do this. Don't feel like you have to go the same speed as me. You know, take as much time as you need. It's not a competition. We are not racing. You know, if it takes me a couple of minutes and it takes you half an hour, it makes no difference as long as you're happy with the result. Time literally means nothing. Unless you did a massive tattoo, of course, and then like the pain can get to you after a little while. So maybe when you're doing a big piece, it counts, you know, but that's about it. There we go. Nice. There we go. I'm going to create a little flick on the edges. I quite like this actually. I'm going to curve just a little bit, just on the edge, just there. So yeah, so you see that sort of curve and curve back around. I quite like that. Obviously, the last one you went 6 is going to go into the skin tear. And now we need that little underbelly bit. Oop. And there we go. All right, now let's get up to that face. So on that line to continue, and that's going to go whoosh. And then bring those lines. So it's literally just going over those lines we already had. I'll just flag that bit in for now. There we go. And then the teeth, just really simple, kind of pointy teeth. You know, I said, like, don't worry about realism. You know, like, traditional is not about realism. Like, you want a sense of what the actual thing is, but you want to tell that story with, like, patterns and curves and shapes. You know, like, we're not trying to make it look like an actual real-life snake. You know, we want it to, like, look like a snake without having to do anything that is snake-like. You know, that's the challenge of it. That's the simplification, like, just kind of sort of drawing it back to its base. You know, and that's the beauty of like traditional. That's where it gets a little bit hard sometimes, because a lot of people get so used to trying to draw things the way they normally are, like the realism kind of method. You know, but when you have to sort of like break things back, it's like, okay, like how can I make this look like what it is with minimal detail in just a few lines? You know, it's with basic shading. You know, it sounds weird, you know, that, but once you start it, you realize it's so much more complex than you seem, but in a good way. So that is our line work done. So if we go up on our layers now, we can turn off those sketching layers, and boom, we have our line work. Now what I'm going to say is click on it and go down to here where little tick is, you see there, and click on reference. And once you click on it, you'll see it says reference over here. And now we can go down to our shading. And now what this does, now when we select the selection tool up here and we put this on automatic, when we click now, it's going to click any area that is kind of sealed off, which is what we want. So now I'm going to go brush, and I'm going to come down to the medium spray paint now. Now for this bit, I just want these bits black, so I know I can just go over those like that. The tongue, I know I want some black just inside this mouth part, so I can go just there. inner eye bit. I just want a bit of black just coming off the back of the eye. Just there. The face, I might just have a little bit just on the tip of that nose and the base of the mouth. And then this back section just here. I want a little bit. I don't want loads because I want to bring out most of the colour. I want a bit of black. Just enough to kind of go just like in between those kind of scaly bits. Like so. I mean, you can drag it further if you want, but I want the colour to sort of really tell the story with this part. And then lastly, whoops. If it goes all blue, it means you accidentally selected the back. A little bit just there and there on the sides. And that's pretty much it for the black shading. So we can come down now to the colour. See, we're flying through this. So let's start off with that back area we were just on. While we're there, we might as well. So yeah, so back. So I'm going to bring this green down, and I want to make sure I leave a little break, just as it sort of gets towards that line. You know, and I'll show you why in a minute. Just, I know, it just looks... Skin breaks can be so important. You don't want to have them on everything, but being selective with them can really do the trick. Because you mentioned how nice that looks. But then if I was to go like that, it takes away from it, doesn't it? Like you can see, there's a very clear difference between the two. So it's just going to be mindful about that. I'm going to select red. And now there's few areas I want red, and these ones are going to be solid. So I'm just going to click and drag, and I'm going to click continue filling, and just click on these areas that I want solid red. So I want that, and I want that there. So those areas, all good, easy done. Just not the background. We don't want that red. And now I'm going to go yellow. And now the yellow, I'm going to, all right, still on that. So I'm going to select these back parts just here, like so. I'm going to put it just in there for a minute as well. I'm going to put a little bit more kind of color on stuff on the face part. And then lastly, I'm going to go orange. I'm going to put these on here. These parts ain't going to stay bold low. I'm going to do the same sort of thing on the edge, but these ones, it's just quicker to erase it than it is to color in sometimes. So I'm just going to show you how to do that kind of method. So I'm going to select alternating ones. And now if you click and hold on a razor tool, it's going to automatically switch it to whatever your brush is. So now my razor tool is the spray paint tool. So I've got that same effect. So I literally just want to come around the outside just here. And just around there. So again, we're just creating that skin break. And by having that bit selected, it means when I'm going like this, I'm not erasing over this part. It just makes it easier. And then just select the ones in between. And do it for those. But this is one of the beauties of like digital over traditional. It means you can kind of do these little things. And both got their advantages. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love both. You know, I love getting my markers and my paints out and stuff. And many of my tutorials already are about that. And there'll be many more on that as well. I just want to do a bit of variation for everything. So now I'm going to select similar on these back bits. It's every alternating one. And I'm going to get me like a nice kind of brown. And I'm just going to go over that one, that one, that one. And again, it means I'm doing this. And when I'm doing this, you can see it's not affecting the one above it. That's why it alternated. It just makes it quick and easy to do. And then lastly, I'm going to select these little mouth bits. Almost had it. There we go. And the eye. Now the mouth, I'm just going to do this kind of lilac-y purple tone, like so. Just doing a little kind of break just on the bottom bit just there, which I quite like. And then the eye, going to colour it in like this and just erase that part there so I get a little highlight. No, I went too far with the blue. That's pretty much what we have. So we're going to go that mouth as well, because I just want to put a little bit of colour in there. Nothing too crazy, just a little bit of that same kind of brown, because where it had like dark browns, it doesn't make sense to have like a bit where it kind of like feels different, like black onto the yellow. So I want it to go like that. And now I'm going to show you a nice little trick, just kind of take this to the next level. So it's like a bonus bit for you guys. So we're going to create a layer above it and select like a parchment kind of skin tone, kind of like this. And you want to come down, and you guys have this pre-built into your thing already. So go to painting, right down to the bottom, and we have fresco, which is, you can see this one here. So now what I'm going to do, click on your layer, where it's got N, click that, and put that as multiply. Right, and watch this magic happen now. So we're going to go over it, and it's going to make it look like it's been water painted. Like you just kind of put that stain around the outside. And then we're going to do one thing after this, which is going to take it even further, which is literally just a couple of clicks of a button, so don't miss out on it. So, not sure how clearly you can kind of see this, but on paper it looks pretty cool. And if you go onto my Instagram afterwards, you'll probably be able to see like the actual image of it. But what you're going to do now, click up on the little branch icon on Add and click Copy Canvas. On that, make sure on that top layer and click Paste. Now, nothing's happened so far, but this is where the magic happens. Click on Adjustments, and now you've got Noise. Turn this up a little bit, and I'm going to go to about 15%. And now you can't probably see it here, but let me zoom in and you'll see. You get this really nice kind of grain texture to it now. I mean, it's noise, but it just kind of makes it feel a bit more authentic and just, I don't know, a lot of time the smoothness of the paper on Procreate and stuff can just feel a little bit artificial. So it just really helps kind of take that away and kind of make it feel more real, more like interesting and fun. But yeah, people, that's how you draw a traditional snake. If you like this, make sure you check out my tutorials. I have my sets with I've done my how-to sets with Tattoo Space. And I'll quickly show a couple on here. So, where are we? There we go. So you got my how-to traditional, my how-to neo-traditional, my how-to old school. Each one has 50 tutorials, and each tutorial has a 12-stage guide. So you stamp it down, you can kind of see. It shows you exactly how to draw every little detail. You have that as both ebook and the brushes. So if you want to do it on Procreate, you have that. If you want on paper, you have the ebook showing you all the coloring and everything like that. As well as having a bit more on ebook as well. But there's tons of stuff on there. That's with Tattoo Space. And make sure you keep coming back because I've got other stuff. I've got a book coming out very, very soon, people. So if it's not out already, make sure to check it out. The link will be down in the description below. So if you want to get to that. But for now, people, yeah, that's how you draw a traditional snake. Hope you like it and come back for more.